on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by The Sportscast.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Victor Arocho and Byron Jones. And here's your host, Victor Arocho.
Friday, live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. Brought to you by The Sportscast, hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Arocho. If you haven't yet, please go to all your social media channels and subscribe to our channels. We go live every Thursday at 8 p.m. on Facebook and on YouTube. You can hear us on stream, on Spotify, on Stitcher. We have a Jersey Boys podcast on Apple Podcasts, also on Spotify. So if you can, please like and leave us a review. It helps us out tremendously. If you like what you hear at the show today, we have a special guest. Hit the smash button, hit the notification. We always like good, smart sports fans to come on and have a good debate and talk about their teams. We talk a lot about the NFC East, and we got a lot of things off season to talk about right now. So let's get ready to rumble. Mr. Byron Jones, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful in this wonderful place.
In this wonderful place. And how is the weather, sir?
It was kind of chilly today. It was like probably about 50, but it was 60 a couple of days ago. I think this weekend's supposed to go back up in the 60s. So it's slowly creeping back up.
Well, interesting. So, I wasn't here last week. My niece got married in New Jersey, so I was over there. It was pretty cold, but it wasn't as cold as I thought it would be. So let's welcome to our show. I'll tell you this second. Hold on, let me take a second. Let's welcome to our show, Mr. Eric Winters, the Dolphin Winters at the stage. Mr. Eric Dolphin Winters, welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. Saul, you can tell.
Eric is my younger brother.
I did tell you, I'm on like 3 hours of sleep, so you can see my face. But you got Dolphin Winters, so I didn't know whether to call you Dolphin Winters. So I was trying to throw the name out there, so I might as well just keep calling you Dolphin Winters. How you doing?
Thank you.
How you doing?
What's going on?
Do you want me to call you Dolphin or Saul?
You can call me Saul. You can call me Dolphin. Doesn't matter.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure I address you correctly. Welcome to the show. And you guys also have your show. Tell us a little bit about your show. It's the Dolphin Show that you're on.
So we have the WCFL Dolphins Talk show that is on Wednesday nights at 8:45 on YouTube and Facebook. We do have X sometimes also. So we talk about Miami Dolphins stuff, and we do talk about other stuff also as well. So we sprinkle a little bit of different teams on there, and we are starting to get other fans from other teams to come on our platform and talk about their team as well. So we got a long off season. So, besides that and all the craziness that's going on in Dolphin land right now with Tyreek Hill, we're going to get into that.
Well, we're gonna bring that up in a little bit. So I want to talk about your show. Also, I've been on your show. I really appreciate it. And it's a good show. Particularly if you're a Dolphin fan, it's good to go on. And it's also they have a nice tribe. Like they have a tribe on that show that they go to a lot of almost every game, whether it's home or away. And a lot of them don't live in Miami, so you gotta give them credit that they literally go to the cities to watch the games together. So it's a nice group. Mr. Byron, you talk about the winter. How's it going?
Oh, fine.
The weather.
It's starting. The weather is starting to change, so it's all good. We got the kids in like 2 weeks. We'll be outside with the flag football thing with the kids. So yeah, the weather is definitely changing to go outside.
Are you coaching a flag football?
Yep, 5 to 14.
Oh, so you're doing basketball now? You're doing football?
No, I threw the basketball in the garbage, man. I couldn't. That was that got to me. I said, you know what? I'm gonna stay in my lane. I can play basketball. I can coach basketball, but I'm gonna stay over here where I'm comfortable, and I don't have as many. It's not as many critics with the flag football than it is with the basketball. The basketball and people, man, they're special. And so
Oh
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Trust me,
yeah,
I coached AAU and USSSA from fourth grade up to 11th, so it was pretty interesting. But I did like coaching basketball. Maybe like basketball even more. But all right, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's get let's get right into the show. So we got some good talking points. What do you think about? What do you think they're going to do with Saquon Barkley?
well, they did get a little bump in the with the cap money. Well, the whole league did. A couple millions of dollars. I forgot what it was, but for some reason, I'm just not getting the vibe, man, that he's coming back. Like lately, they've been talking about him going to Houston, Texas, probably, because that's one of those states with no sales tax, no state tax,
No
or
state tax.
no state tax, or the Dallas Cowboys, no state tax.
Florida
And
doesn't have state tax either.
he ain't going no team in Florida. It's gonna be either Dallas or Houston. It'll be one of those two teams.
If I was, I mean, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
No,
I'll make a comment on that. I'm sure Saul make a comment on that. Go ahead. So why do you think? Well, no, Byron, you finish up. Why do you think that you don't think they're going to franchise tag him? I mean, I can't imagine he had a great year. They need him. They need him.
Who you telling?
All
Yeah,
right,
but
so
they have so many other holes. They got 26 other free agents on their team that they got to worry about. Some of them are going to go. Some they're going to sign new people. They still got to sign McKinney. The safety. They don't know if they franchise him or transition tag or whatever they're going to do with that guy. But they kind of disrespected him. Well, he should have took the money last year when he got it.
Right.
When they offer whatever they offer, he should have taken that because the market for running backs is so depressed and smashed that he's not going to go out there and get the 12 or 13 or 14 million that he thinks he's going to get. He might, then again he might not. But it's like a roll of the dice, and it's just weird, man. Going to see him, if he went to Dallas and see him in a Dallas Cowboy uniform with that offensive line, he might put up 200 yards on the Giants that day. But it's just weird that the whole running back market.
if he goes to Dallas, I will hammer the smack out of him. Just so you know that. So
Why?
I'm gonna tell you, and all our because I just am. I'm gonna hammer him down to the point that he better perform like at such an elite level. I am going to rip him.
Why?
Because
It's a business move.
he would go for me. I'm just telling you how I feel. He's one, I thought he had a great season last year, so I'm very happy for him. Two, I would like to keep him. Three, if he goes to Dallas, he's going to the enemy. Four, if he goes to Dallas, that's just a dumb, one more time, dumb move. Okay?
Business move.
It's a dumb move. Okay, they're not going to make it to the playoffs. They're not. If they make it to the playoffs, they're going to be done and out. It's just a lousy squad, the lousy coach. Everything possible is everything. If there's a place that now listen, hold on. Let me finish. Go ahead. I'll let you go. Go.
Okay, go. You don't think with that offensive line that the Dallas Cowboys have, and they got a tight end and a receiver and a quarterback, you don't think that he's going to be a lot better on that team because he's not going to have to be the guy on that team.
Do I think he's going to be better? Yes, right. If he's on that team, right. But I don't think you go to the enemy. Number one. Number two, you're going to a team that has been one and done for 18 years. 18 years. Don't go to that
team.
Might be the
piece.
He ain't no key. They should have kept Ezekiel Elliott. They've had every team. They were the number one offense 3 years ago, and they blew it. So there's nothing you could tell me with Dallas until you prove me wrong. Okay? CJ Stroud proved me wrong, so now I'll admit it. But until you prove me wrong. Now, if I was going to go to a team, Texas would be a good team. I think with CJ Stroud going there to Texas, I think that would be a good team. And then we were just talking about state tax. Miami will be phenomenal for him. You're talking about an ultimate back that can catch and can run with a talented of speed and receivers. I mean, you're talking a game changer. That's a game changer.
First, we got 29 roster spots to worry about. We've already informed Xavier Howard and Agba that they will not be with the team and all that stuff. So we have to, and plus, the Christian Wilkins contracts and the Tua contracts, you got to take that in-house
But
first. Thinking about bringing
I got you,
Saquon
Saul. So
Barkley.
first, let's just let me just stay on this one point here is let's keep everything separate for now, right? With who we got to sign, because the Giants got the same issue. I don't know what Texans have. What the Dolphins have, the same issues. But the topic first came up of him going to a place with no state income tax was number one, right? That was the first that topic
Yeah.
came up. So that's what I'm addressing. So I'm addressing
Gotcha.
Texas and I'm addressing Florida. There's two teams in Texas.
Right.
There's a team in Florida. Actually, there's three teams in Florida, right? So I'm addressing those teams. But of those three teams, right, Dolphins, when you say why, if we're just talking about going to a place without state income tax, Dolphins would be a better move, and the Texans would be a better move than Dallas. That's my opinion. I just think with Jerry Jones, we can't, Byron, we've said it. You've said it before, and maybe you're changing your mind. And I don't know how you feel, Saul, but our sentiment has been, and I want, Jerry Jones to live as long as God permits him to live. I don't want nothing bad to be on the gentleman, have nothing. I don't have anything towards him on that. But until he's alive, and if his kids take over, I just don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl again. I think he's too meddlesome in it. That's just my opinion. So when you ask me why he would go somewhere, I think you didn't think the Dolphins were a good fit outside of what they got to sign. For a Dolphin fan, forget about what you got to sign. If you were able to get them and make the pieces mix, would Saquon Barkley be a good fit on your offense?
Yeah, I mean, if the pieces fit, yeah.
The guy can
with
catch
everything
and he
else,
can run.
with everything else, yeah. If I'm just talking about football, but yeah, why not?
Go ahead, Byron.
Saquon Barkley is going to go to the team that pays him the most money. That's what this is all about now. Because he's 27 years old. This is he got franchise tag last year, and he's looking to get paid. So if the Dallas Cowboys come up with whatever amount of money, he's going to go there. If it's the Philadelphia Eagles, he's going to go there. He's going to go wherever he can get the most amount of money. He's not going to take a hometown discount to stay with the Giants.
I got you.
I just don't feel that. But if he's looking to get paid, that's the bottom line.
I don't know what Dallas's cap is, but they got a lot of high paid players there. Between their quarterback, they got Trayvon Diggs, they got to pay. They got CeeDee Lamb. I mean, they got a lot of superstar players paying a lot of money. I can tell
you, they're $10 million under the cap right now. The Dallas Cowboys.
It's impressive.
Yeah, 10 million negative. They're in the negative, so they got to cut some players.
For me, I'd like to see him. So now let's go to one more thing. His opportunities again. The only advantage of going to Dallas is that he has some better opportunities after football if he's on a team like Dallas Cowboys compared to maybe the Houston Texans and the Dolphins. Okay. But when you're on a New York team, look at all the commercials the guy's on. I mean, just being in New York gives you so many advantages. And the fact that he's a superstar, being an ex-Giant, gives him post-NFL opportunities. Michael Strahan has said it all the time. I wouldn't have the opportunities I have if I didn't play for the New York Giants. And he's on every TV show possible. He's got his own game show, his own clothing line. He's on a team, Good Morning America. I mean, that's the difference about the market. So if he wants to get paid today, he better make sure he's going to get paid for the future. Right. So, look, and I like the guy.
Right.
I also hate seeing a good guy like that being on a lousy team like the Giants. That's unfortunately right. We got our things to fix. I'm just making the debate on if we're talking about state income tax and a good fit. I mean, yes. Would he make a difference in Dallas? Oh, yeah. Especially, isn't Kellen Moore going there now?
Is it? No, the offensive coordinator? No.
Yeah, I thought Kellen Moore was going. Where was Kellen Moore going? Where's Kellen Moore going to?
To the Eagles.
Oh, to the Eagles. That's right. All right. Well, that's good. Well, if he's going to the Eagles, because the only reason I was saying is Kellen Moore does a balanced offense. He likes running the ball and likes throwing the ball more, which is conducive for Saquon Barkley, right? I think that, McDaniels would also do a phenomenal job with a guy like Saquon. You're talking about if the things worked out for the Dolphins to have the opportunity to get a Saquon, that's a crazy dangerous team.
Yeah, but
I
then
mean, because you
still
had a
got to
running
pay
back that
Waddle.
did pretty good last year. He ain't
Oh
Saquon's
man,
level. He's not Saquon's
I
level.
mean, you're right, but Chan was averaging 12 yards a carry at one point during the season. So I
Mhm.
mean, you can't knock that. He was
No, I
doing that
can't.
over.
He's still not a Saquon Barkley. Right?
Is.
Saquon could run, catch. He's a bona fide superstar, right? These
Yeah,
guys had a good
but,
year. Your
you know,
guys had a
Chan is
good year. You had a good year. You know what I
he's going
mean?
into a year too. Got to give him a little bit of time. I
Yeah,
promise.
yeah, it's true. It's true. And then, like Byron, you said, you don't know what nobody's paying for running backs. I mean, Derrick
Nobody.
Henry, Derrick Henry, no one knows. Josh Jacobs didn't get any money, and I think that guy's phenomenal.
Also, well, Eckler, the kid from the Chargers. There's a bunch. It's like 8 of them that are sitting out there.
So I think I'd hate to see him go. I hate to see his talent be wasted too. But he still had a great year, man. So anyhow, that's what I feel there. So the Giants, where are the Giants on salary cap?
Oh, we're looking pretty. We're at 30. What is it? 35 million. The Giants
Under?
over. They got a lot of money to spend.
Oh, so we could spend money.
But guess who has the most in our division?
Who?
The Washington Redskins are at almost 83 million over the cap.
Man. Wow. Yeah, it's the Washington. I'm not worried about that too much. All right. Well, the Dallas. So tell us about and how is the Dolphins? Where are the Dolphins at?
I got, as of a few minutes ago, I got 28 million. I don't know if that's right. Well, they were 51 under last time. According to this, it says 28 million.
And so what were you saying they need to do?
So we have about 29 roster spots to fill. You got people already out of there. Barrios is out of there. Xavier is out of there. Agba's out of there.
I like
Got a
Barrios.
few other people probably. I love Barrios. We just didn't use him. It really upset me. Like he had Claypool. He only used him a couple times. Like I didn't get that. You put this man in, and I was excited to get Chase Claypool. We didn't even use him. So we gotta take care of in-house first. That's, I think, for me personally. Take care of in-house first. Get this, because right now the topic right now in Dolphin land is Tua and his contract. Rumor has it that it's looking like something of like a $50 million a year type contract.
Woo!
That's dangerous for me.
Yeah, very dangerous.
I like Tua. I thought he had a great year. Super proud. He stayed healthy. The sad part is, it's like you can't win. Like, he's the guy that I didn't expect to stay healthy, and he stays healthy, and you guys get crushed at the end of the year with injuries with everyone other than Tua. My problem is that
that was the funniest part.
My problem is that I'm happy that he stayed healthy, and look how he played when he's healthy. It was just 1 year out of his 3 years, right? And he was injury prone in Alabama. So you're really willing to risk all that money with a guy who was contemplating retiring and getting injured. That's a little scary, in my opinion. What do you think?
I hear you. I mean, at the end of the day, I say this. That's a big, big, big thing. The thing about it is one or two things. Here's the two evils. You got what you know, and you got what you don't know. So you're either gonna sign the man that you know with the coach that has all the love and sees the potential and knows what to do with him, or then you got to go in. And I feel that in this draft for Miami, I hope we draft a quarterback, some way, shape, or form. Maybe in a later year, because I think we already got 4 picks in this year's draft. At least we got a number one. We didn't do any tampering this year. Nobody had to take our pick. So at least we got a number one pick at 20. We picked 21st this year. So,
that's good.
Yeah, rumor has it.
That's good for a team. You got talent, so obviously you have to re-sign what you have. But You already have talent. If you got a good round pick, that's you guys are sitting pretty, and you've been making way better draft picks over the last 3 to 4 years than you have over the last 17, 18 years. So that's pretty good. Oh, so a
Well,
blast for the
here,
class. Mark Hurlick.
uh,
Hurlick is around.
Orluck.
Harluck is around. I guess since the season's over and the and Dallas disappeared, he goes. He doesn't. They don't want Saquon.
Oh, here we
There are
go.
more free agent running backs this year wanting to be paid. Forget about it. He says
He wants Derrick Henry, the 30-year-old running back. That's what he wants.
Sorry, guys. Cheaper to find a running back in the draft in the middle rounds. The NFL is now passing league. Thank the owners for making the running backs irrelevant. I mean, he's got a point. I mean, other than that, they don't want him. He doesn't want him because he's a Giant fan. The same reason I don't want him. The same reason I don't want him to go to Dallas. But Mark, you got to admit, he would add flavor to that. I mean, he's a good running back to have, but he's right. Why would you pay a running back that much money when you can get it? Didn't you say it several shows, Byron, that it's running back by committee now? You could get 3 running backs, pay them $4 million each, and have fresh legs running all the time.
I don't understand. Okay, you have different kind of backs. You have the backs that can run the ball in between the tackles. Then you got the backs that can run on the edge. Then you have the back that can catch passes. Now, so now you're loading up with all the running backs. 4 or 5 backs or whatever you're going to have. As far as your depth chart. So now, every year you're going to be changing out. You're not going to really have people getting used to whatever system that you're in if you're constantly changing running backs.
But when we run the Super Bowl, we had 3 running backs that we were alternating.
Yeah, and look how that worked out. All of us still, but they weren't paid the money. They weren't making the money these guys are making now. They weren't even close to this. Eli was only. They weren't. No. They weren't like they were just
the running backs. You're saying?
Yeah. Brandon Jacobs wasn't making money like that.
Right. We had that We had the power. Right.
Ahmad Bradshaw wasn't getting. He wasn't making money like that. They had Ward. Derek Ward was one of them.
That's it. So we were alternating. But my point being is, it was running back committee, but they were getting paid for what the market was paying at that time, though. Yeah. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? But now the market is even worse. So there is some points that it doesn't seem like Byron, you even said that there's not going to be a running back one. Didn't you say that on the show?
I said what?
You said the running back is going to be obsolete.
Yeah, I did say it. They're working on it.
Well, that's what Mark is saying.
I don't know.
Mark has a lot. He wrote a big paragraph, so you got to take the paragraphs in pieces. But one, he doesn't want Saquon, which I understand. But 2, he's right. He's saying they're making a quarterback league. The running back is becoming irrelevant. Which
but look at the Kansas City Chiefs. They drafted a guy, Pacheco, the 7th round, Rutgers kid. If they didn't have this kid the way he runs every game, he was a factor in the Super Bowl. He was the playoff game. He got hurt a little bit, but he's he's one back. Then they had a 1st round pick. Clyde Allaire was he was the 1st round pick that he drafted a few years ago. He became sort of we'll just throw this guy over here in the crap heap, the scrap heap and whatever. But yes, you can get a running back late, but that running back was the key to them winning. The last couple Super Bowls, this kid.
Well, so you're agreeing with Mark's statement then?
That what?
That you can get a cheaper running back either in the draft. Why pay $12-14 million? I mean, think about it. Right now the Giants can offer Saquon, $12 million. I mean, the top running back right now is McCaffrey, who's getting $16 million, and I think he's worth every penny.
Why? What's the difference?
He's different, man. I mean, you put
Saquon Barkley. You put Saquon behind that 49er line. What do you think is going to happen? Put him behind that line.
I don't know. I hate those scenarios. Because
I'm just saying.
I'm just everyone says the same thing. It's just, but the guy's performed consistently no matter what, and he's probably played more games than Barkley has over his career.
And he gets hurt too every now and then.
He does get hurt, but Saul, are you still there?
I'm still here. I
Mhm.
just got my banner up. That's all.
No worries. What do you think about the running back becoming obsolete?
I mean, it just comes down to the owners don't want to pay the players, so they don't want to play that position like they used to back in the day. That's what it comes down to. If they can save $1 and get a younger running back, and I can pay him less than what I can pay one of these stars running backs, that's what they're going to keep doing, and that's going to be the carousel until something is done. It'll probably be a players and our owners meeting about it. Probably they probably be talking about it before the draft. So I know that players are probably like, yo, I deserve to get paid. Why am I not getting paid? And they're trying to do value that position. It's a position that's not going to go away. You try to take the running back out the game, then that's a whole nother game. You change football completely.
Well, but you gotta remember everything is market based, right? So if most of the run backs, I think Byron had run some numbers on the average run back was making like $3 to $4 million, right, Byron?
Yeah, it's not
Without
much at
with
all.
some outliers.
Yeah.
It's not that so you could say that with one breath that the owners are not paying them, but they're also breaking records and paying quarterbacks though. I mean, the quarterbacks are making
That's
obscene
the
money.
thing.
I mean,
Hey, I
obscene.
agree. As a
I mean,
quarterback,
look at all the quarterback. Look at all
uh,
the deal. I mean, Dan Jones got a $90 million quarterback. Uh, uh, uh,
hey,
uh, uh,
man,
she got $90 million one, right? I mean, look at the biggest bust to me was Deshaun Watson, right? Deshaun Watson, that was a failure, in my opinion.
236 guaranteed,
Yeah,
every penny of it.
that's going to backfire on future quarterbacks,
hey,
right?
listen, depending on the
And
way
then
the contract.
Lamar Jackson got paid. I think he's well deserved paying, but now it comes down to this doesn't seem to be able to make it to the next level.
Oh, okay, so why have they went crazy playing the quarterbacks? The reason why is that they're they put butts in the seat. People want to see them passing for 4,000 yards and 50 and 60 touchdowns. Everybody's running around trying to get the Patrick Mahomes. They got this kid, Caleb Wade. Oh, he's the next Patrick Mahomes or whatever they've been saying about him. They said the same thing. Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be a generational talent, and so far he's kind of but it doesn't make sense where they devalue the running back position, because when most teams get in the playoffs, what do? They run the ball, all of them. That's where
Mm-hmm.
they're successful, when they
Yep.
run the ball. And why running backs have gotten screwed like that, I don't have a clue why they have gotten screwed.
Is because they've been able to get multiple running backs. Remember, it's become it's been running back committee by committee. We've already seen you can't run a dual quarterback system. That just doesn't never has worked. But you can run a running back by committee system with no problem and have it to work.
But you know who did that 10 or 15 years ago? The New England Patriots. When they were winning the Super Bowls the way they were, they had two or three, four different running back. They had the big power back. Then they put the other guy to catch the ball at the backfield. Then they put the goal line guy, and they're like one of the ones that did it. At least 10 or 15 years ago. All those running backs. But now it's just basically, what? Yeah, McCaffrey got his money, so from now on, anybody else is you're not getting yours. And it's just weird.
Yeah,
So basically, when his contract runs out, McCaffrey, what are they gonna do with him? Onto the screen hat, onto that pile you go. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Here's Mark's new comment is the money is the quarterback, wide receiver, left tackle. Um, fullbacks are being replaced by the tight end, which is true. Right, the
Yeah.
tight ends are getting just better athletes, bigger. Regarding Saquon with the Giants, we'll wait. We'll wait. So, will the NFL teams, once the draft is over, the running back value will decrease? Saquon will be forced to take less. No, I don't know if I don't think I think he's going to take less if he goes somewhere else. I think they're going to sign him for another 10 or $12 million. They'll franchise it. I don't think they're going to drop him.
No, they're not going to franchise him. They probably made some kind of deal that they wouldn't do it. That he can go out and test the market and see what other teams are going to offer, and then come back. Hey, well, the Dallas Cowboys offer me 9. What are you going to give me? All right, we'll give you 10. You can comes back that kind of way. That I can see that happen.
I think the Cowboys made a mistake getting rid of Zeke. They needed him.
Yeah,
They
they
needed a
figured that
power
out
back.
last year.
Yep, they needed a power back. All righty. All right, let's
Yeah,
let's move. Go ahead. Salt.
He didn't do well. He didn't do that well in New England. He did okay, but he didn't do anything in New England. Trust me.
No, but
Say
he
that
did
the second
okay.
part.
But remember, New England was terrible. Dallas needed some. They needed that power back. They didn't have a power back when they needed it.
And what was the difference between those two teams? The offensive lines.
Exactly, and the quarterback.
Mhm.
Yeah, that helps too.
You got a quarterback and an offensive line. He's a better fit for Dallas, right? Um, and they say, okay, for I'm going to eat all over this. My favorite coach. 49ers are interviewing Brandon Staley. I am still flabbergasted about San Francisco 49ers getting rid of that defense. I just don't understand that. That was the most ruthless move I could imagine. And now they're
Somebody had to
looking.
be the scapegoat.
Yeah, but it shouldn't have
Yep.
been him. It should have been the special teams coach. It could have been anybody else except for them. And now they're interviewing Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley should not get any position of authority.
He's
He
a
should
good
not be a
defensive
defensive
coordinator.
coordinator. He was terrible.
He was with
At,
the Rams when they won the Super Bowl. He's a
but it
good
was
defensive coordinator.
oh stop, man. He was but
He's-
how he was the head coach of San Diego of Los Angeles Chargers, and their defense was terrible.
Because all those guys kept Derwin James always hurt. Bosa always hurt.
Oh man.
They
You know
just
how I
had
feel
bad
about
luck.
I like
Yeah, I
for him
know
to
it.
get a job. I just don't think he should be a job where he's in a leadership position. I think he's
What?
just not good.
He won't be. He won't be. Just be the defensive coordinator. Shanahan
That's a
runs
leadership
that show.
defensive coordinator position. He's
Uh,
defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, and head coach are leadership positions, in my opinion.
yeah, but what happened in that Super Bowl when it was a certain something had happened, and then Shanahan overrode Wilkes during that game. It was something that happened that he changed it up. He put his 2 cents in with that, and it didn't work out.
And that's why I don't understand why that coach got fired. What are your thoughts on the defensive coordinator? Because I don't know if you were on our show last time, Saul, from the San Francisco 49ers. Do you think he
Man, that
deserves
was
to be fired? You think he deserved to be fired losing by 3 points?
not at all. I mean, it was disgusting when I saw it and I heard it. I was like, I saw it on my phone and I was like, oh my god, like really? I'm like somebody like you said. I think somebody else should have got the boot. But why was he the scapegoat? Just
The-
like Byron said, he was the scapegoat.
Yeah, but the guy who should have got fired should have been the specialty teams coach. They lost on specialty teams.
The guy that should have got
Mhm.
fired was the head coach, the most overrated coach in the NFL.
Then they should have fired head
Mm.
coach, but it shouldn't have been the defensive coordinator. But if you go back to
Not at all.
look at the game, like we said last time, the difference in the 3-point spread was all done by special teams. The muffed pump, the punt being hit, the blocked field goal, the missed field goal. I mean, that's all special teams.
Maybe
Mhm.
the special teams guy has been around Shanahan longer. That's why he stayed, and Wilkes is new. So low man in the totem pole gets kicked out the door first.
And I'm surprised because Lynch is a defensive player,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? He's the general manager. And he was a defensive player. Why would you what did he see that we're something is there that we don't know about? So,
And
anyways,
guess what? We will never know.
From behind closed doors.
well, no, they're in the hunt. They
Yeah.
know 600,000 emails that Gruden's looking for. Andy Reid is expected to become Andy Reid is expected to become the top paid NFL coach.
Why
Thoughts?
not? Why not? He's the longest. I think he's been with them longer than anybody else has been with the other teams. Look what he's done. The body of work. So Belichick's not around right now. So it's only fair that Andy Reid should be the big dog and get paid like everybody else.
Saul?
Agreed. 3 out of the 4 last Super Bowls. he sat there and heard all the whispers from the people, from probably us and all the sports media. Oh, they lost. Tyreek won the Super Bowl. Oh, they lost the enemy, won another Super Bowl. Like I said, every time we count this team out, and they did it on the road this year. So what more else can we say about the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid? Yeah, pay the man.
I like Andy Reid. Here's his numbers. He's 28, 283 wins, 160 losses, and one tie. And that's his record as a HUD's coach. So he wins roughly 64% of his games in the regular and postseason combined. With Reed as the head coach, teams have won their division. Listen to this: 14 of 25 seasons. That's pretty impressive. Finishing second on 7 of the other seasons.
And to add to that, Victor, think about this for a second. This man actually had two different lives. He had a life with Philadelphia, and he had a life with the Kansas City Chiefs. Think about
And I
that for a second. He took,
and I
he
think he's a
took the
career.
Eagles to the Super Bowl. Yeah, he took the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Couldn't do it with the Philadelphia Eagles. But then got the Kansas City job. And he's won 3 out of the last 4. That's
Yep.
kind of yeah. He deserves everything. Yeah, say that man.
Bless you.
I like him. So, whatever he gets, and it doesn't affect their cap, right, Byron? The coaches
Nope.
gets paid whatever because doesn't
Pay him as much as you want.
Sean Payton's got $100 million contract.
Yeah. Pay him.
Yeah, I think he deserves it. I think these guys. What are you thinking? Do you think they have it in them to do a three-peat?
Ugh.
Until somebody beats them, why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
To be the man, you got to beat the man, and ain't nobody beat the man in 2 years. They are the Ric Flairs of the NFL.
Yeah.
And this was not a good offensive season for them. That's what's scary.
Mm.
Right.
And the other
Wentz-
rumor going around with them as far as trying to get Justin Jefferson for the Minnesota Vikings.
Heard that too.
Really? Who?
Oh yeah.
The Chiefs?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that's just not
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
That's just not fair, man. That's just
Mm.
I'm telling you. Look, they had a terrible offensive year, phenomenal defensive year. They had an incredible offensive postseason. I think he had 1 turnover in all of postseason, and that was hurting them during the regular season. They were turning the ball over, fumbling, missing catches, doing a lot of stuff. Once postseason came, they got rid of the Kadarius Toney, which we were happy to hear, and he had only 1 turnover.
Yeah. Well, don't forget this. Those holding tackles that they have. That the one guy I think led the league in holding and all illegal procedure. They might be replacing them because they were. If anything was their Achilles heel, it was those 2 tackles. So they might be rotating 2 more new ones in because the 2 they had, they got lucky, not lucky, but they played a lot better in the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, they played better just period in the postseason. Santiago has made a comment that the Cowboys might be releasing Pollard.
Yeah, they are going to release him. He's
I
one
mean, I'm
of them.
telling you, they're just running backs. There's no value. They're not I'm not saying it. Just the NFL is just not really putting value on the team. I think they're going to be more concerned on making sure they're signing like the positions that Mark had mentioned. Obviously they already got their quarterback. They're going to sign their CD Lambs, their wide receivers. They're going to get their left tackles. They're going to make sure they get some decent tight ends. They're going to sign and then the defensive players they're going to sign, right? Because I don't know where Trayvon Diggs is, but I'm sure he's going to be when his contract is coming up.
And Parsons too. His is going to be huge.
Yep. So I think that so good for Andy Reid. I think he's well deserving of it. I don't know if Sean Payton was deserving of a $100 million contract.
No.
His is for past deeds, what he did in the past.
I know, but that was a big risk, in my opinion. That's a big risk. That's the Jimbo Fisher risk. Okay, Coach, It says it's talking about McCarthy. Okay, so Mark, if you're listening, talked about McCarthy. Why is McCarthy not? He's saying he won't attend the NFL Combine. Do you know why, Byron? Because I don't.
So they all doing that. A lot of because you figure you go to a combine. I've been to what is interesting. You send your the scouts and you send the other coaches there, and they're the ones that do all the interviews. The coaches are really not going to deal with these guys at the combine, because I think you're only allowed to have a certain amount of meetings or whatever, some kind of thing to do. But the whole combine is just weird, the whole thing. And I went, and it was very humbling.
Oh yeah. They just slap a number on you. You're like cattle, man. They just slap a number on you, and that's it. That's looking at
Not,
you.
not at all. They have a big old stage that you walk up on the stage, all the press, and they're all out there looking at you, and you felt like they was kind of like trying to sell you. Because you come up on
Right.
stage, yeah, you get on the you're in your drawers, man, your shorts.
But you got a number on your back.
No, you ain't got no shirt on. Well, we didn't have a shirt on.
No
Then.
number, meaning they put the number.
Oh yeah. They put a number. I'm saying
put
they
a
come up
number
there,
on
they weigh. Yeah, they weigh you. You have you stretch your arms out. They want you, the reach and the height and all this other stuff. You feel kind of you feel used standing up on the stage like that, because just Byron Jones, University of Tulsa, blah blah blah, whatever. 6'4", 280. Stop moving, son. 283. It was just it was real weird, man, going through that process.
It was just weird getting a number slapped on your back.
Yes, and they check everything.
Everything.
You get CAT scans, MRIs, anything that they think is wrong with you, or you're gonna find out stuff that you didn't even know.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? What do you think about showing? They were saying that they're still sticking with Danny Jones. I thought you had mentioned you wanted to see if we can get somebody in the draft.
Later in the draft, he's not gonna be ready to begin the season. He had the ACL tear. He's not gonna be ready. So people are sitting there, he's not gonna start the season. Yeah, because when Kyler Murray tore his ACL, he didn't start the season. It was like what 4, 5, 6, halfway through the season. When he finally came in, I could see them drafting a project, not a project, but like a quarterback. If they don't re-sign Tyrod Taylor, because he's a free agent, and they have Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy Cutlets. Do you think he's going to come back?
Yeah, he's signed with them. He's still with them. But it's Tyrod that we have to worry. But he's a free agent. He could be going someplace else, and they really need to sign him if Daniel Jones is not going to be ready to start the season.
I'm concerned with Daniel Jones, his neck.
2 necks got hurt.
That's my point. I think once you get a neck injury, those are difficult to come back from. And with that terrible offensive line, we got problems.
Yeah, and
we got problems. And he doesn't like. Go ahead.
Yeah, like one of the reports, they have them drafting, a tackle, like the kid from Notre Dame. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at it, I was like, he's a left tackle. John Alt, the kid from Notre Dame, is a left. Andrew Thomas is a left tackle, already all pro left tackle. So you're going to take a guy that's been playing left tackle and switch him over to right tackle, which is the same thing they did to that bum, Evan Neal. He played left tackle. They put him at right tackle, and he's been awful, like awful. So I don't know.
So what are your key? You mentioned something, Saul, about Tyreek Hill. What's going on there?
So there's a article out that Tyreek Hill had a mini camp, and they was doing drills, and this young lady was doing the drill, and I guess got the best of Tyreek, and everybody was laughing and stuff. So Tyreek got up, and they said Tyreek tackled the young lady, and she broke her ankle or her leg. The young lady is seeking $50,000 in damages. Yeah, the NFL is looking into this right now. This actually hit Dolphins news. Basically, I found out from another podcast that I follow in the Dolphins community, and I found this out Tuesday night. Yeah, it's a real thing.
50,000, you said?
50,000 between 50
Okay,
and
but
That's all?
that's
70,000.
chump
That's
change.
change.
Absolutely.
That's like $50 for him. Like, just pay it.
Right. Right.
Like,
So
I'm surprised that that's all she's asking for. So there's
true.
got to be more. In my
It's
opinion, there's got to be more to it than that, because she's only asking for 50,000, right?
Absolutely. It's and
There's got to
listen,
be
we
more.
all
There's
know.
got to be more to it. I mean, and then Tyreek Hill. That just, I hate when players that I like and I respect make a stupid move like that. I know we're all human and stuff, but you're making that kind of money. Someone's got to be in your ear to say, "Don't be that stupid," right? Like, and especially it's a lady.
What was he
Anything you
thinking?
do as a lady, I don't care whether you're in sports or not. You shouldn't do. One, two. If you're a public figure, it's gonna escalate. You understand? And so, that's just ridiculous. Then again, he's a tiny guy, so he may have that Napoleon complex, right?
Yeah, but he's still a
Yeah,
professional
but
athlete, man. There's no reason he should have put his hands on a woman.
He should have put his hands on a woman, and he should have laughed it off. So what? The other guys, the people I would have fought with, were the guys laughing at me, not the girl. You know what I mean? I would have got on the
We'll
guys
see how
making
it
fun of
plays
me. I wouldn't have the girl. I would have respected the girl. In fact, I would have shook her hand.
So
So,
I
I
guess
and
mean, we'll see how it plays out.
what are your key signings? What are your key signings besides Tua?
Christian Wilkins, that's the first one. Christian
Yeah.
Wilkins to me is the instrumental. He is like peanut butter and jelly is like Sigler and Wilkins. You have to sign them to be able to stop the run and continue that we go against from this point
Okay, and
on. You
then
have to sort that contract, Chris.
and how?
After that, you would have to probably sign.
Go ahead. So,
Okay, so I mean, after that, you would have to probably start looking at because I'm looking at the new defensive coordinator we just got from Baltimore, Mr. Weaver, Coach Weaver. Uh, he's looking. I like the defense that he's about to run. So I would think with Jerome Baker, I'm not sure if they're going to re-sign him or not because he is a free agent. I don't know if they're going to bring him back if he's going to the system. Linebackers would be a part in our system. So and then I'm like I said. We got offensive lineman Robert Hunt. That's the question mark. Connor Williams coming back off an ACL injury. Um, so it's a lot of pieces and places that we have to sign. It's just going to be wondering what Greer is going to do, what Greer and our owner is going to decide to do, and who they're going to sign and who they're not going to sign. Because this is going to be a different looking Miami Dolphins team next season. I don't think we're going to have a lot of the players that we have now on the roster for next season. I got that funny feeling.
the sad part, I thought this was probably the best season you had. You should have won that conference. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest with you with the injuries. I'll be honest with you. To ride the ride that I can interject everything together. The ride that I had with this season with this team was probably one of the best I ever had in my life. I actually going up to New England and actually going to a couple of Miami Dolphins games at the Hard Rock and going to the game here in Philly. It was great to see my boys play. I wish the outcomes were a little different, but the Buffalo game was the most to sit there and have your stadium almost taken over by Buffalo fans was pretty disgusting. But besides that, we definitely could have played better. But injuries, really, like you said earlier, Vic, injuries caught up with us. I'm not
You
making
got
any
them
excuses.
destroyed in the end of the year. I mean,
For the most
you had
part,
they had like 4 key players, starters.
Yeah,
Out on
Bradley Chubb.
Moser.
Phillips,
Moser was hurt.
um,
Phillips.
Phillips, Holland.
Yeah.
Holland was hurt. After
Yeah.
Holland's made that play against the Jets, he wasn't the same after that.
MetLife Field.
Xavier Howard was hurt. Yeah. Oh man, that field is awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, guys. They need to
Don't
about the field.
apologize. We've been
That field
complaining
is.
about it for the last 3 years.
Oh my god. You know what?
Byron,
You guys feel is the new veteran stadium field. That's exactly what
Yeah.
your field is. That's
Yep.
exactly what your field is. That is the new veteran stadium of the modern day era.
That's terrible. Well, it's hurting
Literally,
us
that's
because
horrible.
I think we have at least 7 players a year on injured reserve for hamstrings.
Hmm.
Byron,
More.
so with Washington, what do you think Washington's move should be with all that money, with new ownership, with everything? Where do you think the key move is? Probably quarterback,
Quarterback,
right?
offensive line, sign some of their
Mhm.
key players. Some of their I think Samuels. A couple of their receivers. Work on that defense. Payne is getting a little tired. Losing all the time. With their defensive tackle, Jonathan Allen, and yeah, they got $82 million to figure it out. So if they could do. Hopefully they don't do like they did in past years where they bought up everybody and it didn't work out. When they brought in Bruce Smith and Deion Sanders,
Deion Sanders.
and all these guys that were way past their prime, bringing them in just for pay. So so hopefully they don't do that, but they need to start with a quarterback first.
Well, think about it.
Mark is killing me. Mark says old news with Pollard. Giants need to sign a Mr. Irrelevant to replace Jones. Giants have more
Ah,
issues than Saquon. Look, Mark. There's no confusion. We have more issues than Saqon. Our issues are our offensive line. That's number one. I mean, and our defensive line. We need to fix both sides of the line. So we know
what?
that.
Hey, wait a minute. We can say this now that Dexter Lawrence was voted the #1 interior lineman at the end of the season.
Really,
So
he
it
was
went,
number one at the beginning of the season.
and he ended up it was Dexter Lawrence last year. Then I think Chris Jones was last year, and Aaron Donald was like 7 years in a row, and Chris Jones like broken. So yes, we have the top dog as far as interior defensive line. We only got one, but
I'm surprised he got voted over Chris Jones because I think Chris Jones is just a beast. I mean, he's the difference maker there.
and he's a free agent.
They're gonna sign him. Those guys seem to be having fun. They want to win a third ring.
Mhm.
I just I don't know. I could be wrong, Byron. I know you're about the money, and I'm just saying that I didn't think Andy Reid was going to come back. I wasn't sure Kelsey was going to come back, and I think they felt that they played so poorly in the regular season to come out victors, no pun intended, to come out victors in the Super Bowl that they feel that there's a lot more in them than they gave out, and they still won the Super Bowl, right? They want to win they want to try to do a three-peat. To do a three-peat is going to make a statement, right? This is probably the fastest I've ever seen a team to be able to be so successful right after a successful run like the Patriots have, right? The only thing closest to that would probably be, would you say, Byron, like 49ers in Dallas?
And don't forget Pittsburgh 4, and they won 4 in 6
Yeah.
years or whatever they won.
No. I'm saying, yeah, but after Pittsburgh, who won right after that? Who was the dynasty after that? It took a while.
49ers,
I don't know.
probably.
Right, but the Patrick is already being put into the league of Brady so fast after 2 years of Brady leaving. You don't really see that much. Usually it takes time for someone to come back around that, right? So this is probably the first time. What's Mark I say? Not sold on Quinn as a head coach. Yeah, me either. I think he's better as a defensive coordinator. He bombed in Atlanta as a head coach. He's saying the same thing we said, right? Look at Mark. I agree with you on that, number one, and I agree with you because look at our guy Spags, right? Spags was a terrible head coach. He was terrible, but he's a great defensive coordinator.
Maybe that's just some of them. That's just some their thing.
Wade Cook.
Wade
Cook was the same thing. Wade Cook was the same thing.
Phillips.
Wade Phillips.
Wade
Phillips was the same thing. Right? He was always a
great coordinator, not a good hitter.
And then you were saying about D'Angelo, right? Well, so we could talk about the Dolphins and the Eagles. Byron's problem with D'Angelo going to the Eagles is D'Angelo runs a 3-4, and Philadelphia is built for a 4-3.
You talking about Fangio?
Yeah.
Fangio going to the Eagles, I felt that was pre-planned. That's just me personally. But it with that is this. He's probably, and one thing about you, I'm going to go back to the free agency and go into the new question. they're probably trying to gonna try to take Andrew Van Ginkel from us because he's a major free agent, and I would love to re-sign him, but I think he might get a nice deal if they just putting got somebody to spend too. And if
Mm.
Fangio's coming, he's definitely gonna try to take some of our players with him. But
Yeah.
I say
Well,
this,
I got a
I think that go ahead, go ahead, Byron.
Yeah, is he? What is he? Outside linebacker or inside?
They move him around.
Okay, all
They
right,
move Van Ginkel around. Yeah, so
okay.
he plays inside and outside. So
Mm.
they do flip him around because he had a game. I think the Washington game he was going crazy. He just went insane. Um, but yeah, I think they switched that system around in Philly, make it a 3-4, and they let Fangio do what he does. And it's not like Philly doesn't have the pieces. They do have the pieces. It's just I don't know what happened with them at the end of the year. I think at the end of the year, I think this is just me personally. San Fran punched them in the mouth, and San Fran sat there and woke them up. He's like, nah, we not. This is not last year. This is not. Y'all took our opportunity away from us. It's the same thing with us with Baltimore. We knew we was going to have to see them again. We had to find a way to respond, which we didn't. We was asleep the whole time. That's a whole other story.
And
So
the sad part, Baltimore bombed when they needed to play. Right?
yeah, but
You
to be
know,
honest with you, you got to give kudos to the Chiefs for playing a great defensive plan. What they did
that
was
goes back
they
to back
knew
goes.
what Lamar liked to do. Yeah, they knew what Lamar liked to do, and they took away what Lamar liked to do. And I'm going to be honest with you, the play of the game was basically that ball coming out at the half-yard line. That was the play of the game. That right there was the play of the game. That changes everything about that game. I'm telling you, I enjoyed it. I
We
mean,
can get
as
into
a
it again, but
football,
but you got to admit, Baltimore, they're. I am telling you that these coaches or the analytics are just going into the game all about it wrong. I think they tried to play. They tried to figure out how to play the Chiefs instead of playing Baltimore football. They ran the ball 6 times. They were the leading
you know,
rushing team. Why would you change your game plan?
I agree.
And then the
I
Yeah,
time
agree.
that I keep telling you that you can't go into Baltimore, can't go into a game with the hope that Lamar Jackson is going to rush for 100 yards. But if there's a time that you need him to rush for 100 yards, is when you lose or go home. So run. He
Right.
should have ran.
I
There's
that's
no
didn't
true.
reason.
understand.
Why play
Actually,
pocket quarterback when you're if you lose, you're going home, dude. They
I
ran
mean, I
six
work with two
times.
diehard.
Six
I work with
times.
I work with two diehard Raven fans. I actually worked with somebody that actually was at the game, and she just was like, "I don't understand how you ran the ball all year long, and you only
Yeah.
ran the ball just like you just said." And she was just so animate about that. She's like, if we run the ball and play Baltimore football, we win the game. I don't know what we did." And
It,
she just didn't understand. She's like, I don't what happened.
it
Blame
was
that
the
one
it was
on
this
Todd Monken, offensive
it was
coordinator from
disgusting.
the University of Georgia.
It was disgusting.
Yeah, man.
Six
She was
times.
hot.
I don't think there was one sports analyst that didn't make a comment on how do you run the ball 6 times and you led the league in rushing.
He
Absolutely.
just he just got out of his game and decided, oh, let me chuck it 40 times.
No, but then Lamar didn't run though. Like Lamar,
Right.
that's the time Lamar is. Okay, let's say you're. I still blame the offensive coordinator, like you. I'm agreeing with you on that, Byron. Okay, but what I'm saying is, Lamar, you're the MVP of the game. There's a point that you got to take this into your own hands, and your legs are a weapon. He didn't run.
Nope.
He didn't even make an attempt. He should have
Maybe,
ran.
maybe he couldn't run.
You always got to throw something out. Why?
I know.
Why?
I had to throw.
Yeah. What indication? What indication do you have that maybe he couldn't? Why, Brian? Just go. Agree. You can't keep becoming these MVPs and then not even getting to the Super Bowl. There's a point where you get tired of talking about that. And I think this was their best chance. You said it all year. He never had receivers. That's why he had to run. Now he had to. He had every piece was there for the Ravens. But Are you saying something, Byron?
No, I'm just saying. I don't know.
That's funny. Well, anyhow, we'll start wrapping this up since I'm getting punch drunk here. I can you see my eyes are turning chinky. I can barely keep them open. You see, you see the slits in my eyes? Man, I'm so tired. It's not even funny. But anyhow, hey, look, Saul, really appreciate you joining our show as always. You know, I'm sorry I'm not as hyper and enthusiastic as I normally am, but there's a lot of stuff going on with the league. I thought we had some good topics that we talked about with Andy Reid, just going around the league, what's happened with the Dolphins, where Saqon may or may not go. Mark, thanks for joining and putting your pieces. You have some good points on there. I didn't know about Jefferson. Jefferson goes to this Kansas City. That is just deadly dangerous. Yeah. That's just like Tyreek going back, just a bigger, you know. I mean, it's a problem because I mean they're building the pieces. They're looking to build for that three-peat. So I hope it all works out there. Tell us about when is your show and when can people listen to it and how can they listen to it?
So it's the WCFL Dolphins Talk show on YouTube and Facebook on Wednesday nights at 8:45 p.m. Come join, watch. Drop the link within about 15 to 30 minutes within the show, and we would love to have all different types of fans come on. So.
The link will be in the bottom of the info in our show, both on YouTube. So please join in and listen to the WCFL fan, right?
Yes,
and it's you said it's Wednesdays at 8:45. All right, so I appreciate everybody. Don't forget every Thursday 8 p.m. the Jersey Boys Sportscast. I will at what time, Byron? 8 o'clock. Just count the number of fingers he has on his hands. And we're always welcome to our show. Next week I'll have some more bursts of energy to keep going. So I'm just trying to catch up. Oh, I was telling you, Byron, I was in Jersey. So for my niece's wedding, God bless Mr. and Mrs. Joe and Danielle Sarno, which is my niece. Danielle Ferrari married Joseph Sarno from Staten Island. They had a beautiful wedding in Andover, New Jersey. It was Andover. Perona Farms. It was beautiful, Byron.
Oh, fancy.
It was beautiful. Perona Farms. Mention it out. Shout out to Perona Farms. Do you have any venues? I would check that place out. Everything was there. They had this massive house for the ladies and the girls. My daughter was in the wedding. It was just everything. There was so much food. Just everything was fantastic. But the funny part, over here, we're in Florida, so anything under 72 is cold. So over there, I'm like, man, it's going to be 30, 40. And you know what, Byron? That cold really didn't make that much of a difference to me. I didn't feel as cold as I thought I would feel.
You weren't cold?
No, I wasn't really, not at all. I didn't even have a jacket on. I just had my suit. I barely wore a coat.
So you went from 30 to Columbia, which is probably about 80, to back up here.
I went from Jersey back to 70, back to 80, back to 70, 75 right now in Florida. So, yeah, Columbia. So I was in Jersey, came back Sunday night, got up Monday morning, went to Columbia, just got back this morning on a 7 a.m. flight. So, you got to go through immigration and all that. So I was headed to the airport at 3:30 in the morning, man. It was tough. But welcome again. We're looking forward to it. We got some more stuff to talk about. Let's see what trades are happening. The draft's coming up in April, right? So we'll be.
The combine starts today, Thursday.
So the combine starts today. Let's see what's happening. I'm sure Byron's going to start putting his list together on draft picks and where they're going to go and so forth. Did you hear about Justin Fields? That they may be releasing Justin Fields?
Oh, they're going to trade him.
Yes.
They want to trade him? I think that kid's got some potential. Just on Chicago's just a bad team. All right. Well, welcome. God bless, guys. Thank you for coming on the show, Saul. Dolphins Winters. Byron, as always, love to the family. Hopefully Detroit should have another good season next year. And let's see what we got coming on. Have a good night, gentlemen. And we're going to continue. And don't forget every Thursday, 8 p.m. Subscribe if you like the show. Smash the like button, and we'll get ready to go. All righty, let's get it on.